A British pilot is falling through the sky over occupied France. He survived the flak, his Lancaster is in pieces, and now a German fighter is circling back to strafe his parachute. He reaches for his sidearm, not a standard service revolver, but a Frankenstein monster of a weapon that technically shouldn't even be able to fire without exploding in his hand. Flight Lieutenant David Ashworth was holding a Webley Mk6, the legendary British sidearm, but it had been surgically altered. In place of its standard 6-inch barrel was a 12-inch aircraft-grade steel tube ripped from a salvaged Browning 1919 machine gun. The engineering was a desperate gamble. The .303 British rifle cartridge it was chambered for generates nearly 49,000 psi of chamber pressure, more than double what the Webley frame was ever designed to handle. To make it work, armorers had to bore out the cylinder until the steel walls were just .080 inches thick. It was a weapon that offered 300 yards of lethal range, but every time you pulled the trigger, you were betting your life that the cylinder wouldn't shatter into shrapnel. The reason for this madness? Survival. Standard .38 revolvers were useless against German ground patrols or strafing Luftwaffe fighters. Downed airmen needed a handheld rifle that could fit in a cramped cockpit, but still punch through a German uniform at 3 football fields away. On June 23, 1944, Ashworth took this 5.8-pound monstrosity to a remote airfield to see if it was a stroke of genius or a suicide pact. At 200 yards, a distance where a normal pistol is a toy, he began landing hits on human-sized silhouettes. The recoil was so brutal it felt like his wrist was being hit with a hammer, and the muzzle flash was large enough to blind him, but the message was clear. The RAF had built a hand cannon that defied the laws of physics. Only about 30 of these unofficial long-range Webleys ever existed, carried in secret by crews who valued a fighting chance over a safe sidearm. I just finished a full documentary on the Frankenstein Firearms of the RAF and the secret armory at Coningsby where they were born. Click the link to the full video below to see how these machine gun pistols actually performed in the field.